Hi guys, today I'm going to be drawing my SPIDERSONA. I'm sure many of you have heard of SPIDERSONAs. They're very popular now on Instagram and on Twitter. Lots of people have been drawing them, and they've really been popularized by the Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse movie, which is such a great film. So on the screen you'll see just a few examples of some of the drawings others have done online that I really love and admire, and you can see there's like their tags at the top, so you can go follow them if you like their art. It looks so good. One of my personal favorites is Sweeney Boo's. So just a little heads up, if anyone doesn't like spiders, there will be a spider on the screen pretty soon, so make sure you skip to 1 minute and 11 seconds if you do not want to see that. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about my process of creating my SPIDERSONA, and I started out going online and just searching different types of spiders, which was really quite disgusting and scary, but it was very helpful in trying to find some inspiration. And I ended up going with the golden orb spider, actually golden silk orb spider. And it's huge. It's like the size of your hand. It looks very terrifying, but I really loved the colors that it had on it, and I liked the gold idea of this like golden spider, so I thought it would be cool for a character. I just went through and I circled some of the pieces on this spider and like looked at what I thought would be interesting things to incorporate into the costume. One of the next things I did was I wanted to just block out the character, so I went and I just looked at the body type of the character and made sure I had, what she looked like down. She's not really supposed to be me, but I feel like if I were in a comic book I would want to be her. But she's not really particularly based on me, even though she looks a little bit like me, but not like an exact replica of myself. So I started off just with the clothing and doing some things that I really like to draw or like to wear, what I would want to wear as a spider person. So I did cut out sleeves and like a crop top, which is I really love like the keyhole, the holes in the shoulders. The shoulder holes. I love that like trend. I think it's very fun. And so I started with that, and of course I wanted to incorporate like the fuzzy bits on the spider, so I added like fuzzy parts to the legs, even though I'll change that later on. I decided to do a little less of the fuzziness, and I put some on her arms too. And I really wanted to incorporate those spots that are on the back of the spider, so I put those on the front of her shirt. And in like this mimicking pattern. It was very interesting. It looks like eyes kind of going down the back of the spider, which is actually really cool. I like the design of that. So I went and I did 2 different designs. That way I could just have some options, because I wasn't quite sure which one I would actually enjoy the most, or if I really thought like the first one was the best. I needed to make sure it was. And it ended up being the one I liked more. I didn't like the second one as much. I started out with a skirt, as you saw, because I was kind of basing it off Sweeney Boo. And I liked how hers was wearing like a skirt, like a more like an outfit type thing, instead of wearing just a Spider-Man costume. But I ended up just going with the first one because I like the shorts kind of look. And you'll see that all those cut out parts kind of become mesh, so like the shoulders, the midriff, and the thigh slits become mesh parts. So I played around with the hair for quite a while. It took me quite a while to figure out what I wanted to do, and I ended up with a short curly hair, and I put a beret on top because I was just playing for a long time with what I wanted to put on top of her head, because it felt a little bit unbalanced. So putting the hat on top really just helped it flow better. I just went in using those colors and making her just look great and trying to like place the colors in good parts of the suit and make it look nice. The beret, I thought it was a little random at first because I mean I really like to wear berets, but it's kind of like you have to be wearing a certain outfit for kind of a beret, and I decided that I wanted her to be Afro-French, so African in French. So that's why she has her beret on, because she's from France. And also I really like berets, so I would love to wear one as a superhero. I'm just playing around with the fur a lot in the drawing. I've put it on her thighs for a little bit, which is really interesting, but it ended up not looking really what I wanted it. I wanted more of a sleek look, less clutter on it, so just put them around her ankles and around her upper arms. So then I'm just drawing her face too, and again, she doesn't really look like me. She has her skin is the same-ish color as mine, but mostly she is like, looks pretty different than me. Her hair is more straight, not as curly as mine is. And I wanted to give her golden yellow eyes to match with the golden theme of the spider. And yeah, her name ended up being Golden Silk as her spider name. And I played around with it for a long time, and I ended up coming up with Rosette Jabari as her real name, because Rose is my middle name and I wanted to use that in some way. And I also wanted to use an African name to show that she was Afro-French. Also her age is 19. She's 19 years old. I'm actually 20, so I made her a little younger than I am. So now I'm just getting into the illustration part and just like the finalized version of her, showing off just the character and her look and her pose. So I wanted to do like her on a swing at first. I thought about maybe having her sit down swinging, because there's so many different poses that you can do for like a spider person. You can have them like jumping through the air, stuck on a building, or on their web, or like pulling their web down and like their legs are in the air, and there's so many different ways that people have done it. And I ended up wanting to try something that was like different and I hadn't really seen before, so I did this kind of swinging motion where she's like has one foot on her silk, her spider silk, I guess, and is swinging through the air. I do like how the pose turned out. I tried to use perspective, which I don't normally do. I don't normally use perspective very much in my drawings, but I've recently had looked at this program. I'm using Medibang Paint Pro, and it's a really great alternative to like Photoshop, because I've used that before for more for school, but I don't pay for it myself, so I wanted a free option that I could use on my own tablet. And I finally learned about like the perspective tool that you could use and like moving around the foot and the leg and like making it come towards you more. I never really have been able to do that in Photoshop. I guess I haven't really looked it up, but it was really interesting to use it and actually get that like feeling of her like coming at you and swinging towards you, which I really like in this drawing. I end up changing the pose a little bit later on also. I at first have her both arms back holding the silk, but I change it soon to having one arm holding like both loops of the silk and then another extended to shoot another string out so she can keep on swinging. And I kind of do like what I had at the beginning more in some ways. When it's finally finished, I kind of look back at that first pose and think maybe that one might have been better because it looked really nice. But I do like how it ended up overall as well. I think it could have been good either way. And I did end up taking out the string that she's shooting at the end of it because it just looked a little weird with the composition and everything. So I just thought it would look nicer if it was just her hand out, like she's preparing to shoot a thread of silk. Okay, and now I kind of just wanted to talk about the film Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, because I think it might have been my favorite movie of 2018. It's 2019 now. I think it was so good. It was very, very beautiful. The animation was just amazing, and I kind of get tired of that the style of just like really nice, sleek, soft animation that's just the 3D kind that just looks so, I don't know how to describe it, soft and like perfect, I guess. I really like the more textured style that they went with Into the Spider-Verse. It was just really cool and really different. I'd like to see more movies that actually incorporate that kind of style into their films. It really reminds me of the short Paperman, the Disney short. I really love that short, and it's just so cool how they made like a feature-length long type of film that was like animated in that kind of style with the 2D lines over it and all the different like shaded hatching and the dots in the screen and very comic book like style. And it was just really amazing to see a movie take that much of a risk, especially an animated movie take such a risk, and people maybe not liking the look of it. I also thought like the story itself and the characters were all so great. I really loved Peter B. Parker. He was so funny just as like the jaded old Spider-Man who knew everything that was going to happen yet was just so bored with it, and he was really funny, and it was kind of sad to see him go at the end, but the ending kind of made it seem, spoilers by the way, the ending kind of made it seem like he could have a chance at going back to the Spider-Verse and seeing those people again. So it's very fun, and I really hope they make a sequel because that would be very cool. I wanted to talk about how like where it ranks among like the Spider-Man movies, because I really do love Marvel and all the incarnations of Spider-Man, from Andrew Garfield to Tom Holland, who Tom Holland this far has been my favorite Spider-Man, but it might be Miles now. I don't know if that really counts because he's animated and one's live action, so it's a little bit different, but I think it's really interesting to see them both compared to one another. But I do think that this is probably my favorite Spider-Man movie now. Although I did really love Homecoming. I thought it was a really like new take on it and made it really different, but this was even more different. It was even more fun. And so many different Spider-Mans in it, and it just made it all the more just entertaining, I guess. I really liked seeing all the different Spider-Men from the different universes. I thought Nick Cage was very funny as Spider-Man Noir, or Spider Noir. I'm not really sure. I can't remember which one of those two he was, but he was very funny. And the Spider Pig was very funny too. John Mulaney did a really good job with that. I really liked that character. And I liked the self-awareness of the film, of course, with like some of the jokes just about like the other Spider-Man films, especially Spider-Man 3, which is a bit of a travesty. But it's funny to see them poke fun at how ridiculous that movie is and the silly, crazy parts of it where he's dancing in the streets. It's funny. And I also liked the reference in the end credits scene to the Spider-Man meme of like the pointing Spider-Man. That was funny. I don't know if this is much of a review. I feel like I'm just kind of saying random parts of the film, saying that was funny, but it was really good, and I just really wanted to just say that I liked it, and if you haven't seen it, you should see it, and I don't think I gave much away, so I hope that if you haven't seen it, you go see it and you enjoy the film. And, draw SPIDERSONA if you so please after you see it, before you see it, whatever. It's pretty fun to look into types of spiders and see what should go and see which one would match up with you, and like look into designing it and seeing all the other people's and like pulling the inspiration. And I just love character designing a lot. It's what I really want to do for like animation. I'm an animation major in college, so that would be very fun. Oh, I wanted to say about the color in the Spider-Man movies. I really want to see the movie in 3D. It looks so beautiful. The colors just like leap off the screen, and I feel like I would love to see it in a 3D movie in theaters, but I don't know if I'll get to. I hope I will. Especially in the final battle. The final battle scene has really good color and just like explosive, and it's so beautiful. Oh, soundtrack's amazing. Love all the songs on there. We got a bunch of really good rappers to be a part of it, and just it sounds amazing. I love Vince Staples' song. I've been watching the like trailer. I've been watching it so long before the movie came out, and I was just waiting to get that whole song because it sounded so good in the trailer. So I'm so glad that that's out and I get to listen to that all the time. The background, I decided to do like a landscape of a city. I thought about pulling some of the buildings closer to her so that way it kind of looks like she's like actually like swinging on something and it's like closer to her, but I decided just to go for more of like a impressionistic kind of like background where you know that there's some there, but I don't really have to draw it in. So yeah, I put those there and then did a gradient from red to yellow, and I really like the look of that. I think it has good like foreground background. It's very you can see the deepness of it, I think. So I like that it does that to the drawing. Okay, and I'm also just going through and shading. I use the gradient tool. I actually usually don't use it that much. I've recently started using it, and it's pretty handy for me. And I like, especially like just shading like especially need to be shaded like under a leg that's like pushed back, or like under the chin. I usually do like the necks a lot when I'm shading with a gradient tool. And then I just go in and do some like cell shading too around the limbs and different parts of the body. One thing I kind of want to do with my YouTube channel, talk about other things while I'm drawing. I enjoy watching movie reviews, so like maybe I'll do like a movie review while I'm drawing something that has to do with the movie, like fan art or something. Drama maybe, if I have an opinion on it. But I'd like to insert some personality into this channel and the art that I'm doing. So I hope that you have enjoyed watching, and hope that you'll maybe be inspired to go out and draw your own SPIDERSONA and get into the trend, because it's very fun. Here are the last images. You can see just like my concept sketching sheet, and then also my final image of the illustration I did. Thank you so much for watching. If you want, do whatever you do. You know what YouTubers say. And I'll see you next time. Bye, everyone.